talk about Multiverse. It'll be on Thursday, so that's why I'm doing this review now. And it should be a good show. The card looks pretty cool. It'll be in Los Angeles, but we have, of course, Impact Wrestling and, well, actually, New Japan, I will say that, but it's going to be a fun show, I'm sure. Obviously, these two promotions, it's going to be fun to see how it goes. We've had this before. I believe we talked about it last year at Wheels of Fury. So, yeah, this should be fun to see who's going to come out the winner. But, yeah, let's go. Show match, we've got Yuya Uemura, who will take on Gabriel Kidd. And we've seen both these competitors before. I mean, I've seen more of Yuya, but this should be fun. I think that Yuya has been one of the best wrestlers of New Japan, and he's wrestled on Impact. I'm pretty sure he's wrestled on AEW as well, but it'll be a good match to determine who is going to win. I'm not quite sure. We've got Mike Bailey versus Hiroshi Tanahashi, and both very good competitors. I've watched Tanahashi for years, probably a decade, and he's one of the best wrestlers in New Japan as well. And I think here's a guy who's a veteran in that business, and I think, not really in American soil, or North American soil for that matter, although he did some matches in AEW, or just one, whatever. But Mike Bailey, obviously, I talked about Sacrifice a while ago, and he has always amazed me in the ring. So, yeah, two different styles, two of my favorite wrestlers. It's also hard to choose. I mean, you could say either or, but it's gonna be interesting to see. This match is gonna be mouth-watering. So, once again, coming off a Sacrifice, you've got Moose, the guy that is one of the strongest wrestlers, one of those monster heels, and he's gonna take on Jeff Cobb. Now, I haven't seen Jeff Cobb in a long time. Oh, that's not true. It's been a while. But he's definitely one of those guys that had a stellar career in New Japan, Ring of Honor, and I think that it's going to be cool to see what happens in this match. It's almost, I want to say, like King Kong versus Godzilla, kind of, but both these guys are very much like monsters, just crazy. But if I were to pick, I mean, look, I haven't seen Jeff Cobb in a while, and so, I mean, Moose definitely is very strong, and we'll see what happens with this match. So, yeah, I'm gonna say, for shits and giggles, I'll go Jeff Cobb. I want to see more of him, but I think he'll win. I mean, I'm pretty sure Moose will have some up his sleeve, but we'll see what happens. This scramble match for the X Division Championship of Impact. We got, of course, the champion Trey Miguel who will take on Clark Connors, Frankie Kazarian, the Heavy Metal Rebel, Kevin Knight, Red Swan, and Rocky Romero. So this is going to be fun. I mean, Rocky Romero has to be one of the best wrestlers of New Japan. We got Red Swan of Impact, Clark Connors of New Japan. I don't even know where he wrestles from. Yeah, it'd be New Japan. And Frankie Kazarian of Impact, a veteran of Impact Wrestling. So this match can go either way. I mean, we can see a lot of what Trey Miguel can do. And he's been a very good champion. I mean, coming off his win from Lince Dorado, I think it's a time for him to lose the title right now. I'm not sure if he loses it to Rocky Romero or Clark Connors. Does that mean they're going to go to New Japan with the X Division title? Or are they going to show up at Impact? I'm not sure. So it's going to be up in the air. I honestly don't know. But I mean, hell, if it's Frankie Kazarian, that's even cool. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting match. We'll see what happens. Openweight Championship, we've got Kenta, who will take on Minoru Suzuki. Minoru, definitely one of the legends of New Japan Wrestling, or 30 years or so. And I mean, this guy has to be one of the baddest motherfuckers in the wrestling world. And I mean, someone that definitely could go to WWE, but unfortunately hasn't been there yet. He's been on AEW. I think he's had some matches on Impact. Kenta, definitely a guy who was robbed in NXT, could have done better, but still, he's the strong openweight champion. Of course, a member of the Bullet Club. I think Minoru will take the title. You know, I think that's going to be a good match, but I think he will actually take the title. You know, Kenta is very good with his feet in the strikes that he could do, but I could see Minoru Suzuki for the win. So we have a 4-way for the Impact Tag Team Championship. We've got Ace Austin and Chris Bay of the Bullet Club. And we'll take on Aussie Open, Kyle Fletcher, and Mark Davis. The Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley, and Chris Sabin. And TMDK, Bad Dude Tito, and Shane Haste. And we've just seen the Bullet Club versus TMDK at Sacrifice. So to have this match, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Talk about the X Division Championship. That could potentially go to New Japan, you know, if you have Aussie Open win. And I mean, they are one hell of a take team. But you could also have Motor City Machine Guns, TMDK, for sure. I mean, their work with Will Ospreay is pretty cool. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. If the Bullet Club retain, you know, that's fine too. We'll see what happens. You know, who can eventually get the Impact titles off of them. So we'll see. And you've got Alex Conlon, Sammy Callahan, Fred Rosser, and PCO, who will take on Eddie Edwards, Joe Hedring, JR Kratos, and Tom Lawler. This should be a hell of a fight. A lot of these wrestlers here are fucking amazing. And I mean, you look at Callahan, man, that guy has to be one of the best hardcore wrestlers in Impact Wrestling. Eddie Edwards, of course, he's been in New Japan with Davey Richards as the American Wolves, his work in Ring of Honor, also Impact. So he's a veteran in himself. Need to see more from Alex Coughlin. Fred Rosser, we know about him. Still a very talented wrestler. And Tom Lawler, former MMA fighter. I'm not sure if he's still gonna be in the MMA world, but I think this shall be a good match as well. If I were to pick, though, definitely Callahan, Conlon, and Ross. The winner is added to the Impact Knockouts World title at Rebellion in Toronto. So we have Deonna Purrazzo versus Giselle Shaw versus Masha Slamovich versus Miya Yamashita. So that's a tough pick. I mean, Masha is one of the best monster heels of the women's division, and Giselle is actually pretty good. You know, Deonna Purrazzo has been one of the best champions. I don't know if I see her win the title. Mayu, I need to see more of, to be honest with you, but it should be a good match. And I mean, we'll see what happens. You know, I think. Oh yeah, Deanna's okay. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Anyways, well, I mean, to face Mickie James, I honestly don't want to see her lose the title right now. I would say the end of the year, if anything, but in any case, I'll pick Masha, or I want to see what Miyu could do. So, it's going to be a good show. I think that this has to be very cool. It's, you know, the forbidden door opening up again, and it's something I wish WWE would do more of. I know they did a lot in the 90s and 80s and stuff, but yeah, Multiverse United is going to be fun. Obviously, I'll try to get to Supercard of Honor, and then we have Stand and Deliver in WrestleMania. So that's going to be fun. Couple days to do reviews and stuff, and who knows what's going to happen in the future. But anyways, talk to you later. Bye.
So you know that them cutting WCW was a long time coming. But I think that there's this myth out there that Jamie Keller that's why he took pleasure in cutting WCW. I don't think that's the case at all. Because if you look at some of his earlier interviews, like